KitGuru is here at CES 2026. We're on a BIWIN stand. BIWIN's a Chinese memory company that do things a little bit different. They're one of the few companies that actually buys in the entire wafer themselves before producing products. And they've got a few interesting things on show, some for the handheld computing gaming market, and also for high-speed, tiny storage, and also stuff for mainstream consumer. We're going to get one of their experts, Dave, to give us a quick run-through of the cool stuff.
Yeah, so the first thing we're looking at is the BIWIN CL100, and this is the mini SSD. Now these things are really cool. Essentially it's a Gen4 SSD into this package that's only slightly bigger than a microSD card. These are running at 3700 MTS and the writing at 3400, and it's crazy speed. The reason we've done this is companies like GPD and 1xplayer want something that's compact and small and versatile, and essentially all that happens is you remove the tray like you would with a SIM card on a cell phone. You remove the drive bay and push it back in, and then you're in. With this, you've got speeds that are comparable.
So that's the normal way to use it if you're using it on another device.
Yep.
But this one's got its own special slot.
Yeah, so on the GPD Win5, you've got the slot at the bottom here, and you can go up to 2 terabytes with these. So you've got high capacity, fast storage in a really compact space, and for the handhelds you can't really beat that kind of versatility.
You talk about high speed and you've obviously got some quite big claims, but what kind of numbers are we seeing here on the screen?
Well, with the 1xplayer it actually runs Windows, so we can run Crystal Disk Mark, and on this one here we've got 3564 MTS, and it writes at 3400. And you know, when you're doing that kind of speed, it's not just a drive for gaming, it's a drive that you can use for video editing, it's a drive you can use for, you know, any type of creator, and it's made quite a big splash. Obviously it is a proprietary size and it's proprietary protection, but we're not trying to change the market at all. It's just filling in a gap between the SD card and a SSD, essentially a PCI SSD.
That's pretty small, but you've got something even smaller around the other side, right?
Yeah, so again, for the handheld market, particularly the Switch 2, we've done the ME300. Again, even though it's smaller, you are dropping the speeds, but it still has got a respectable 900 MTS and a write of 800 MTS. This is one of the fastest micro SD cards on the market, but it is tiny. And yeah, for the Switch 2, it's perfect opportunity to use it, and that's why we've released it now.
And you've got specific gaming branding on there in case people think it's for something silly,
yeah,
taking photos.
Yeah, we've got a few different ones of these. So for this one in particular, we've put the little hand controller on there. We do have some that are more specifically for drones, where we've put a little drone on there. So depending on what we do, we try and make it obvious.
And what else is new?
So as well as for new for this time, we've got the Amber PX4000. So the Amber range is all the stuff that we run for, you know, people like yourself that are taking a lot of storage around with you and you want rugged storage. These can be dropped from 3 meters. They've got IP64 dust resistance and up to 8 terabytes. The thing with this one is it's actually Type-C USB 4. So it's very quick. It's I think it's 3900 MTS and then writes at 3700. So you've got the compatibility with your phone or your laptop whilst keeping a lot of speed there. So yeah, this one's really cool. If I can, I'm going to try and steal this one. Just like Computex, BIWIN's got a whole range of Gen 3, Gen 4 and Gen 5 M.2 drives, as well as a whole range of DDR5, going from the nice little subtle versions of the blacked out HX100 all the way up to the OC optimized DW100 with the crazy speeds. This is 192 gig running 6000 MTS at CL28, so that's really quick. And the reason I'm showing that is we actually have done a little bit of an update now. Before we were using Acronis for the software, but now we've actually decided to make our own, and this has been quite a few years in production, and it brings up everything that you need on the main page with your information on the drives. And then you've got your error scan, so you can do deep scan or quick scan. You've got your performance test.
For SSDs or memory? Or
this is SSDs at the moment, but in the future it could evolve. Now it's in-house. We can basically do what we want with it. The good thing is it's showing the speed, and you know, it's the speeds that we actually say that they are, which is always nice. You've got your performance optimization. you've got
This is all running off the little X.
Oh yeah, this is
570 Pro inside.
yeah. So this is on the X570 Pro inside this little BYO 360 case, which is a cool little case. And one of the things we can do with this now is, because you can do the arrays and the secure arrays and stuff like that, we can actually update this as we want. The main thing is we can actually update firmware through this. So before we couldn't push firmware to the SSD easily, now that we can. And also because we've got a group of software engineers now, we can actually make updates in the future. So one of the next things we're working on is actually doing secure recovery. So if you accidentally delete some files through the BIWIN intelligence, you can bring it back as long as it's not in a secure arrays and you're writing over the top of it. But yeah, so that'll be fantastic for us as well, and fantastic for the guys that buy BIWIN, because you've got that little bit of extra confidence in the product.